So this past week was a really big week for the Saints for free agency. First week of sort of the free agency and contract negotiations and all that for the Saints. It was a very big week. So in today's video, we'll be talking about that, talking about the certain players they signed for free agents and also players they contract restricted, and what does this mean really for some of these players coming back, and what does this mean for Kellen Moore and the Saints, and what this looks like going into next season. Welcome everybody to BrewCrew channel. My name is Hayden Brewer. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Let's get into the video. Now, the first thing we're going to go ahead and talk about, we're going to talk about the re-signs, actually. Some of the couple of the re-signed players. Two really actually big ones, Juwan Johnson and Chase Young, both, I believe, were given 3-year extensions. That is definitely a big move. First with Chase Young, he was with a 1-year contract with us this past year, had a pretty good year. He didn't really have like eye-popping stats really, but he had a really productive year, and definitely I think this was definitely a best choice for us to re-sign him, because of course like there was the question about Cam Jordan. So and also like with Chase Young, he's still a young player and can still be a pretty good player for this league, and I definitely like that we're going to give him a chance for the next couple years, especially with this defensive line. With, of course, a new defensive coordinator coming in, and, of course, a new head coach in Kellen Moore. The other big re-sign was Juwan Johnson, which I definitely really liked. I think Juwan Johnson, I know, didn't really have eye-popping stats, but he, by far, is definitely the best tight end. And then, of course, like, there's also still the situation with Taysom Hill. Don't know his status still, but of course there's still the rumors of him potentially not coming back to the New Orleans Saints. So I think I like the idea of us re-signing Juwan Johnson for another 3 years, because maybe he definitely needs some improvement, but he can definitely make big plays when he can. And I really do think he's a really good tight end for us for this team, and can really be a really good tight end for whichever quarterback we do going into next season. So I mean, Juwan Johnson could definitely be a big-time player on the offense if he can definitely improve. So definitely both players really good choices for the team to re-sign them. Of course, we had, of course, a couple contract restructures as well, of course, with Derek Carr. But also two other important ones. I think we'll go ahead and go into that before we go into some of the big free agents, a couple big names that we signed. But let's actually go to a couple of contract restructures, or a couple players returning. Tyrann Mathieu and Cam Jordan, two guys who was kind of thought to be like probably not with the Saints going into this next season. So with Tyrann Mathieu, I kind of said this in like one of my previous videos. There was apparently rumors of Tyrann Mathieu potentially being traded, going to another team. But most recently, I'm pretty sure it was last week, that Tyrann Mathieu and, of course, the team have gone into agreement terms of talking about his contract. So definitely looking like he's going to return, which is definitely a big boost. And also with Cam Jordan as well, returning for year 15. Cam Jordan, by far one of the best defensive linemen in the franchise history. But the best defensive line by far. One of my favorite players I've watched as a Saints fan. Definitely for sure looking like he could retire as a Saint, and it's also looking the same thing as Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu, the Louisiana, New Orleans. Louisiana, born, raised in Louisiana, New Orleans, went to LSU. I mean, definitely would love to see him retire in New Orleans as a Saint. So it's with those two, and also it's kind of a big boost for Kellen Moore, who's a young first-year head coach, because of course I've seen that, like, you have Cam Jordan, you have Tyrann Mathieu, and of course you have Demario Davis, especially on the defensive side, and a couple other veterans as well that can be team captains and team leaders for this team. I mean, Demario Davis has been that for the past couple years, especially since Drew Brees' retirement. But like, I mean, Demario Davis, even when he played with Drew Brees before Brees retired, he was one of those team leaders, team captains. And like, you have him, you have Cam, you have Tyrann, that could definitely help out this young head coach and Kellen Moore, and also these new coordinators as well to try to get this team going. Will it potentially go into winning? Don't know. It probably won't. I mean, I still don't really have high expectations with, of course, the big moves that we're making this offseason. I don't have much high expectations about us having a really good season because, of course, there's still questions like, what are we going to do on offense with quarterback? Like how is our defense going to do with, of course, new players and players returning? So that's just definitely the questions for this team and for Kellen Moore as the head coach. So I mean, we'll just have to see. So I kind of wanted to leave it for last a little bit. Some of the couple big free agent names that we ended up re-signing. The first two we signed mostly for 1 year. Center Will Cap and former I was about to say Jacksonville Eagles tight end Jack Stool. I mean, with Jack Stool can definitely help out the tight end room a little bit because, of course, again, like I was talking about before in the video with Taysom Hill, I haven't really seen any news much of what Taysom Hill's status is. I don't know if he's still with the team or if other teams are still looking for him or something, or looking at him or whatever. I don't know. But this definitely helps out the tight end room, joining Foster Moreau and, of course, the now recently resigned Juwan Johnson. So that could definitely help. Will Clapp could definitely help out the offensive line. That's, of course, where we've always had injury troubles. Of course, I think actually did see Eric McCoy. I believe it was Eric McCoy who is looking at also restructuring his contract with the team. So, of course, Eric McCoy definitely staying with the team. He's a really good center. Of course, was kind of injury prone last year, but he's been a really amazing good center for us for the past couple years. So, I mean, definitely having Will Clapp as sort of the backup or another kind of reserved player for the offensive line in case, of course, injury problems again for this team. So we'll just have to see. But the two big names actually are on the defensive side, defensive back side. First at the cornerback position, the former 49er Isaac Yiadom. I don't know how to say his last name. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I'm just going to call him Isaac. He is a former, I believe, 49er cornerback. Definitely a pretty good player for them. Was a pretty good player for them. We signed him. I think it was either a 2 or 3 year deal, I believe. I would have to, let me see if I can find it, if it was a 2 or 3 year deal. 3 year. It was a 3 year deal, former 49er. The same, this is shown on ESPN is where I'm looking at this. Injury. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. I was blanking out. Anyway, so yes, former 49ers cornerback. This definitely would help out, as of course we lost Paulson Adebo to the Giants, and of course last year with Marshawn Lattimore. So this definitely helps out the cornerback position on our defense. And the other big one is actually at the safety position with Justin Reed, the former Chief safety, Super Bowl champion with the Chiefs, of course. Justin Reed has, of course, signed also a 3-year deal with the Saints, him actually becoming the third player in the past 2 years to be signed by us from the Chiefs. Of course, we got Colin Saunders and Willie Gay from the Chiefs. So, I mean, definitely that's a big move for us, and definitely a big help back there with, of course, Tyrann Mathieu, reuniting with Tyrann Mathieu, actually. I believe former teammates with the Chiefs, I believe. And both actually had stints with the Texans as well before they went to the Chiefs. So I don't know if they were teammates for both teams, but teammates once again together, again, Justin Reed and Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, I definitely think these two are really big, good moves for us to get. I mean, of course, like I said before, with Isaac, I hope I'm saying his name right. With Yadam, it helps out with the cornerback depth. You can probably still look to get a cornerback in the first round with possibly Will Johnson or whoever is still up or whatever at this point. But of course, Justin Reed, I mean, that definitely bolsters up a defense that, especially a defensive back that's kind of now going in a little bit weak. But now with this help of depth, it definitely gets us a little bit stronger. So we'll just have to see. And of course, with again a new defensive coordinator, we'll have to see how this defense prevails. So all in all, with the contract restructures, the re-signs, the free agents this past week, it's been a really good week for the Saints. In my opinion, like, it's been a really good week for the Saints. Big players, big moves. So yeah, big players, big moves. So definitely pretty interested to see, of course, how this next week goes and how the rest of the weeks go as well for the Saints, for us going forward in the free agency and re-signs and whatever. So we'll just have to see how everything goes. So yeah, we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. No kind of lengthy short video or something. I don't know. I was trying to think of something. Anyway, hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. Again, very looking forward to seeing how the rest of this offseason go for the Saints. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell for upcoming videos on this channel. And also go check out my previous video, Best and Worst Champions. Thumbnail I'll probably put right here, but the link will probably be down in the description below just so y'all can go check it out. And also the video will be at the end of this video. Again, with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.